What's good, people? It is Tony the Savant. And before we get started, please like this video, share this video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel. As well, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel as I drop content daily, go live daily. Stay very busy on the platform. And last but not least, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, as it is my absolute favorite part in this whole sports journalism thing, to exchange dialogue with with you all. I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong. So please let me know in the comment section. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a part of a series that I began a couple weeks ago. There's been so many things going on in the headlines, still a lot of stuff in the news cycle that I've been wanting to do my commentary on. But this is crucial as we are creeping up on the NFL 2024-2025 NFL season. And I had a series going on, just my expectations of NFL teams. I wasn't going in any particular order, but I did start with the Super Bowl, defending Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs, rightfully so. Discussed their, new additions. Some of the guy, well, the main guy they lost, and just a little bunch of stuff. Andy Reid, we talked about it in that video, so check that out if you will. It's a little bit further back in the catalog, as like I said, I dropped that video, start cooking up on this one, and then just a lot of other stuff was going on at that time. But we are back picking up this series with the Baltimore Ravens. And the Baltimore Ravens, man, are a very interesting team, all things considered. Super Bowl coach, very, very renowned championship culture, in Baltimore for sure. We're talking about a Super Bowl, not a Super Bowl, but an NFL MVP, not just one time, two-time now, and Lamar Jackson, definitely a generational talent. And a prolific defense that has lost two key members. There's a lot of questions surrounding the Baltimore Ravens, so kind of deep diving sector by sector, and we can start with John Harbaugh. Now, I don't think John Harbaugh is on any kind of hot seat, but I definitely think that John Harbaugh has to get this Baltimore Ravens team over the hump. Making it to the AFC Championship game last season and totally abandoning their bread and butter was totally uncalled for, and I put that on his shoulders. Of course, the coordinator's shoulders, but he's the head coach, gets the last say. So, the Baltimore Ravens last year were dominant via their running attack and their defense. A defense that boasted Justin Matabuke, I might butcher his name a little bit, Patrick Queen, Jadeveon Clowney, just to name a few. It's the whole defensive guys over there. And that defense was all-time great. I made multiple videos discussing it in season, and the few times we've had the privilege of being able to discuss the Baltimore Ravens in the off season. But losing two members, Jadeveon Clowney and Patrick Queen, I think that's going to affect them. How much so is to be seen. They did give Justin Matabuke an extension, and he was pretty much a terror on defense last year. They got another gentleman, number 0. I can't think of the name right now off the top of my head, but I expect him to step up as well on that defense. Got a strong secondary as well, but losing two key guys like that and such a dominant defense, it does leave some questions, and if nothing else, at worst, a couple holes in that defense. But I believe the Baltimore Ravens will be able to sustain some of their success from last season, as I even drafted their defense on my fantasy football. I have that much confidence in them, just to let y'all know I ain't capping. I do think the Ravens will be effective in their spots on that defense. I forget who their coordinator is. I'll have to double check on it, but just off the top, if it's the same guy from last year, I'm very much so expecting them to keep in stride. But that AFC Championship game was, I think, just an anomaly. I'm hoping so for the Ravens. The defense looked decent. Patrick Mahomes was still able to be Patrick Mahomes, but At the end of the day, I think they lost that game because they went away from their running attack purely. And I think that was the primary reason. To move over to the offense a little bit, of course, we got to start with Lamar Jackson, two-time MVP. Now, I had some controversial takes around this MVP award last season, as I thought rightfully so. It should have been at first. I had Tyreek Hill in the mix. Tyreek Hill was an absolute game character last season. The numbers he was putting up, and single handedly, Tua was in the mix as well, but single handedly Tyreek Hill was leading that Miami Dolphins team on some big wins. I had Tyreek at first, but then I really started, you know, paying attention a lot more closer to those 49ers. Brock Purdy and company, not just Brock Purdy, but we talking about C-Mac. Both of them had breakout seasons. And I edged it to C-Mac just for the simple fact that I would have loved to see the MVP award go to a non-quarterback. Brock Purdy was one of the top quarterbacks last season for sure. And I know that it's starting to feel like, in some cases the MVP award is a quarterback award. But I really wanted to see Christian McCaffrey get it, as he was the biggest contributor, I should say, on that 49ers team, hands down. I believe he sat out a game or two, but the one game that he sat out, you could definitely tell the difference in the team. But Brock Purdy, to me, I'm a believer. Excuse me, what I'm talking about. Lamar Jackson, to me, I'm a believer. Despite the fact that I don't think that he deserved the MVP award last season, I still believe that Lamar Jackson is a generational talent. My thing about Lamar Jackson, and maybe this has to do, again with John Harbaugh and the coaching staff. I need Lamar to get over the hump. He's put up a number of prolific seasons, 2 MVP caliber seasons. So it's time for him to get that other trophy, which he himself he's expressed interest in that as well. He's I remember seeing an interview from him not too long ago, but he definitely emphasized the importance of winning that Super Bowl championship. Not just collecting MVPs. So Lamar knows what's at stake, and I've heard that he's slimmed down. He's gotten a lot better, attrition wise. Prepared for this NFL season. So we'll see what that does for him. Moving along to the big free agency accusation. I think the biggest free agency accusation, Derrick Henry, aka King Henry, formerly of the Tennessee Titans, one of the all-time great running backs to do it. He joined the Baltimore Ravens. I don't know where my head at, man. I'm sorry, y'all. But he joined the Baltimore Ravens this past offseason. I expected him to join the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not going to hold y'all. This was a big surprise to me, but I like it. I love it a little bit as well because I believe that Derrick Henry, if he stays upright, if he's able to, maintain his health, him and Lamar Jackson can wreak havoc on the league. Now, my only blemish on that, my caveat, I should say, is that the Baltimore Ravens had a prolific running back attack, and they did it by committee. Of course, led by Lamar Jackson, but they had J.K. Dobbins, I believe Justice Hill, another guy as well. I picked up a few of their running backs, during the fantasy football season last year. And whoever was back there, it just seemed like, it was the next man up. That guy fit in. It was a plug and play type system. And so Derrick Henry being added into that, I think that is going to do them good, of course. But I'm interested to see how that mix goes because they already had a elite running attack. And then we all know that Derrick Henry himself is one of the top dogs. Maybe you can put him in the all-time category, but definitely one of the top dogs in the league right now. Again, I'm just looking for Derrick Henry to stay healthy. If he's able to do that, I don't see him losing a step at all in this season anyway. And the Baltimore Ravens were able to get him on a good deal, good bargain. I believe Derrick Henry is exactly 30 years old, if not just a shave under it. So that's about the time that you see a difference in running backs. We'll definitely see with him. But I think he got enough enough juice in the orange to make a big splash with the Baltimore Ravens, and again help out the reigning MVP in Lamar Jackson. One thing that I did notice was that the Baltimore Ravens didn't really do much in the wide receiver category, as their number one adversary right now, the Kansas City Chiefs, were able to clean up their wide receiver room, put some speed and some names into their room. Even just acquiring Juju Schumacher not too while ago, a little bit earlier today, I seen that news. Um, the Baltimore Ravens, they got Zay Flowers, who's a young guy. I believe he was a rookie last season, but I know he's still a young receiver. But I'm not really impressed with everything else. Nelson Aguilar is a veteran. I think Bateman was pretty reliable, but Mark Andrews is healthy. He's expected to come back. He was essentially Lamar Jackson's security blanket last season. Definitely can attest to that because I had Mark Andrews. Who am I talking about? Mark Andrews is going to be back. I know as far as I've seen the reports, he was healthy. I had Mark Andrews as my tight end last season. I had a lot of Ravens action going on my team between the running backs, the defense, and Mark Andrews. And he don't seem like he lost a step, but unfortunately, he did suffer that injury. And again, he's been a security blanket for Lamar Jackson. So him being in the lineup and being available to be in the receiving corps is going to be great for the Baltimore's passing attack. But all in all, I got to see what I got to see. Now, John Harbaugh is a good coach. I believe one of the great coaches in the league right now. And he usually starts off hot. I believe I read in the article I was reading about the Baltimore Ravens. I forget his record. But usually in September, the Baltimore Ravens under John Harbaugh have good starts. And so I'm interested to see what he does with Derrick Henry, his new addition in addition to this offense, man, because I'm not very impressed with what they got going on at wide receiver. But, they was able to scrap some wins together last season after starting 3-2. They got hot, ended up winning, they ended up winning 13 games last season, ended the season at 13-4, I believe. And of course, made a run to the AFC Championship game. So John Harbaugh can figure it out. He can definitely work with what he has, but I'm definitely concerned as far as the passing attack goes because they weren't that elite last season. More so like in the middle of the pack type. Was really relying on that defense and that running attack. So again, you got Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers. Maybe somebody can catch a couple passes out the backfield, but whoever else is out there, I got to see, really what they made of, and I'll kind of assess it as we go from there. But I have some concerns about the wide receiver room for the Baltimore Ravens, especially when you see the Kansas City Chiefs again. Their number one adversary, but if you want to go on to the Cincinnati Bengals, another one of the big AFC teams right now, they got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. So, you don't want to go up against those guys. They got guys catching everything, on the football field, and then you got guys dropping passes. Zay Flowers I believe he fumbled or he dropped a key pass last season. And it was just detrimental, just that thing that goes with having a young receiver. He's going to miss some passes naturally, but I think the Baltimore Ravens are going to be good, though. I'm really foreseeing them being good. I just don't see them being good enough to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Not even the Cincinnati Bengals as well, And then you also got the Houston Texans coming up the rear. That young team just added Diggs, Stephon Diggs. I was going to call him his brother's name. Just adding him in addition to having CJ Stroud and all the tools they got over there. The AFC is going to be tight. The AFC is definitely going to be tight. I reference it to the Western Conference of the the NBA. How of course you got the Eastern Conference. Some elite teams over there, but it seems like the AFC and the Western Conference, every game counts, and every game is a big week. So, because there's so many heavy hitters in the AFC right now. So, But I think the Baltimore Ravens will sift through it, find a way, perhaps maybe back to another AFC championship game. And at that point, I'm expecting Lamar Jackson to take that footstep, that next step forward. They got a lot of primetime games. I believe they got 7 or 8 primetime games. So we will be able to see, the Baltimore Ravens throughout this week. The first 5 weeks are tough. They got a lot of heavy hitters. I believe the Eagles, the Cowboys. Who else was in that mix? Maybe the Texans and the Buffalo Bills. So the first 4 out of the 5 weeks of the season, they're going up against playoff contention and Super Bowl contenders as well. So, but again, I got confidence in John Harbaugh. Again, he has usually pretty good starts to the NFL season, and then along the way makes his adjustments, tweaks up the roster to the point where they can go on a postseason run. And what's my prediction for the Baltimore Ravens? I don't know if I did this for, as far as their record. I don't know if I did this for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'll have to double back on that one. But I got them going. Shucks. We got another game this season. I believe 18 games this season. I could definitely see them going 13-5. 12-6 in that ballpark. If everything moves like it did last season, because in the NFL, everything can change from season to season. We've seen so many times somebody ball out one season and then the next season you don't even hear from them at all. So, but I got 13-5. I'm cool with that. I can see them going 13, getting another 13 wins this season. Lamar Jackson perhaps putting up another MVP case as well. And my number one identifier, because I got him on my fantasy football team, I'm looking at that defense. Can that defense pick up where they left off last season? But that's all I got for y'all on this one. Please like this video, share this video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel as well. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel as I drop content daily, go live daily, stay very busy on the platform. Last but not least, my favorite part of the whole game, man. Y'all please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. I'm always interested to know what y'all got to say about this. All the Baltimore RAVENS fans out there, shout out to y'all, man. My brother MTO Sports Dev over there. My thoughts, my opinions. He's a big Baltimore Ravens guy, so shout out to him. That's all I got for y'all on this one. It's Tony the Savant. Peace.